So if you have special prices set up, you can also set them up by buying group. We just set one up for a customer. Let's go over to the catalog as a little bit of a detour. And look at special pricing management. Here are all of our special pricing records. And when we set one up, oh, wants me to use this one to add them. Let's say we're going to do a buying group special price. We select the buying group, and then we can say, let's set up a special price for that buying group. And if you notice here in the company, it now says buying group, and the type is B. So by setting up special prices in the buying group, we can set up a special price, quantity, rebate, any number of things, contract over multiple customers without having to set up individual records for each customer. So that's our special pricing and buying groups. And then we talked about the zip code file for tax code calculation. So we'll take a quick look at the zip code file because it's related to customers. And here we have our zip codes. Now, the zip code file works in the United States because the United States has fixed zip codes. In Canada, it works a little bit differently. In Canada, sales tax is set by province, and they've got 10 or 12 provinces. Because zip codes in Canada work like the English system does. Here in the United States, 33956 is for a geographic area laid out by the post office. A zip code in Canada or in England consists of 2 3-character strings, 1 2 3 XYZ, and it's much more specific. Every company in Canada or in England has its own unique zip code, and every 3 residential addresses have their own zip code. So if you have a zip code, that narrows it down to a company or 3 houses in England or Canada. So that's why you really can't use tax codes related to those type of zip codes, but fortunately in Canada, all the tax stuff is based on province. But if we look at a zip code here, we'll see that we have the zip code, the tax code for that zip code, city, state, county, the centroid of the center of it, latitude and longitude. And this information is downloadable from the Cove website. There's a zip code file that we update once a year from the post office that has this information in it. Then you have the city, state, and county rates if you have to break them down like in California. Or the rate here is 6%. And this tax code, USFL 0710, is generated by the web service. If you're maintaining your own tax code file, then you can call the tax codes whatever you want. If you use the web service to determine the tax code for an address, then the web service will return to you a tax code along with the rate for that address, and we load the tax code that it returns into the zip code file. So you have it. So that's zip codes, parents. Oh, one other thing in the zip code file. Okay, here we've got a field called demand location. And this is something that's of interest to the OFM folks, because Hank, I believe, is working on implementing that. The demand location tells you which warehouse should be defaulted for shipments to this location. So let's say your closest warehouse to 33956 is in Atlanta, then you would have Atlanta in here, and during order entry, as soon as the ship to address was determined, the order entry program would default to the location Atlanta, so that you enter the order for the location closest to the customer. Now, if you don't ship the goods from that location, when the sale is recorded in the weekly and monthly tables, the system will record not only where you sold the goods from, but it'll also record where you should have shipped the goods from, so that you can analyze where you have inventory in the right place and where you have inventory in the wrong place. If you're constantly having to ship widgets from Chicago to Florida because you don't stock them in Atlanta, the demand history will tell you we need to stock widgets in Atlanta. So I think that covers most of the customer stuff. Let's look at some of the pull downs to see if there's anything else that we want to talk about. We did buying groups. We're going to ignore loaners. The item comments we talked about.